I am the danger. I am the one who knocks.
Walter Hartwell White is the main protagonist in the criminal drama series Breaking Bad. When I first watched this series, I really felt sorry for him. You know, he was just a teacher, trying to live properly and not harm anyone. But slowly, episode by episode, things start to change. We find out he has cancer, and oh boy, it turns out he is a loose cannon. As a viewer, sometimes I felt nervous and panicked watching him, always wondering what he would do next. The problem is, at first I understood what he was doing. His goal seemed good, to leave something behind for his family. That made sense. But little by little, he became wild, unpredictable, extremely smart, but extremely ruthless. To understand him, we have to track back. He is a genius chemist who won a Nobel Prize, yet now he works as a high school chemistry teacher and part-time at a car wash. In this show, we see how Walter White, an ordinary family man, turns into Heisenberg, the alter ego he created. Someone cruel, ambitious, emotionally cold. A drug lord, a kingpin, a narcotics boss. Walter White is not just an unlucky man, he is a wasted genius. After college, he helped build gray matter with Elliot, and that is also where he met Gretchen. They were even engaged, but then he suddenly left. He walked away from the company he helped create and took only $5,000. The series never fully explains why, but Vince Gilligan later said that Walt felt inferior when he saw how wealthy Gretchen's family was. His ego could not handle that environment, so instead of staying and facing that insecurity, he ran. Gray Matter later became a billion-dollar company, and Walt spent the rest of his life believing that success should have been his. This is important because it explains everything. Deep down, Walt believes he is smarter than everyone around him. He believes he deserves more. That belief never disappears, it just gets buried under failure. When we first meet him, he is 50, stuck in a job that does not respect him, working extra shifts at a car wash, getting laughed at by his students, underestimated by his brother-in-law, and treated like he is invisible. He accepts it because he thinks staying quiet is safer. Less conflict, less risk, less damage. But the resentment is there the whole time. You can see it clearly in the first episode. When he sees someone bullying his disabled son, he snaps and attacks the kid. It shows this side of him was always there. He is not just passive. He is not just harmless. There is pride. There is violence. He just spent his entire life holding it down. After the cancer diagnosis, something changed inside Walt. Not instantly, but you can feel it. He is forced to face one simple fact. He is going to die, and the life he is about to leave behind is not the life he ever wanted. That hits hard, because now he is not just afraid of dying. He is afraid of dying as nobody. For 50 years, his whole life was controlled by fear. Fear of conflict, fear of looking stupid, fear of failing, fear of disappointing people. So he stayed passive, he stayed quiet, he stayed small. But when death becomes real, it's like something unlocks inside him. When Hank takes him on the ride along and he meets Jesse again, that is the moment where his old life and his suppressed self collide. For the first time in his life, he feels in control, his own direction, his own identity. There is no going back after this point. Then he meets Crazy 8 and Emilio. When things go wrong, he poisons them to survive. That moment still shows that his morality is not gone yet. He is scared, he is shaking, he does not want to cross that line unless he feels forced to. And when Crazy 8 survives, we see how broken he still is. He debates with himself. He hesitates. He looks for reasons not to do it. But when he realizes Crazy 8 will kill him the moment he is freed, he does it anyway. Now he has tasted control. The shift becomes clearer when his actions is about ego, not survival. There is a moment with a guy named Ken, a loud narcissist who takes Walt's parking spot. Walt blows up his car. This has nothing to do with protecting himself or his family. This is just him wanting to punish someone who disrespected him. That is an important change. His ego is no longer just inside his head. It is starting to control his behavior. Then comes Tuco. Jesse gets beaten badly, ends up in the hospital, and Walt steps in. This time he does not go as Walter White. He shaves his head. He calls himself Heisenberg. He walks into Tuco's place and blows it up just to make a point. He wants respect. He wants power. He wants to feel feared instead of ignored. This is where the alter ego kick in. Heisenberg becomes a way for him to separate himself from what he is doing. It is like telling himself, this is not me, this is the other version of me, the fearless one. the one who does what needs to be done. But the truth is that Heisenberg is not a new person. That side was always there. The pride, the arrogance, the need for control. The only difference now is that he stopped holding it back. Walter White and Heisenberg are not opposites. They are the same person. Same intelligence, same ego, same hunger. The difference is simple. Walter stays passive. Heisenberg takes action. The line gets crossed in a way that is harder to excuse when Jane enters the story. Jessie cares about her. Walt knows she is bad for Jessie, and he also knows she is a risk to him. When Jane starts threatening to expose him and involve his family, something happens. When he finds her choking, Walt does nothing. He does not end her life, but he also does not save her. He watches it happen. That is a choice he chooses. You can see the conflict in him. Part of him knows it is wrong, but the part of him that wants control wins. After that, it becomes harder to believe he is still operating with the same morals as before. The line is not blurry anymore. We know he prefers to be Heisenberg. Not long after, Skylar starts to see the truth. The money does not make sense. She knows Gretchen did not pay for his treatment. She connects the dots and wants distance. She pushes for divorce. Walt refuses to let the family fall apart because, in his head, everything he has done is still for them. Then the plane crash happens, and the weight of that hits him. He seems shaken for real. That is why he tells Gus he is done. He believes he has enough money and crossed too many lines. But Gus understands his weakness. He does not pressure him, he appeals to his ego. The lab, the setup, the idea of legacy, and it works. Walt comes back. This time it's not about money, not about family. He just doesn't want to walk away from something great again, like he did with gray matter. The moment everything collapses is the crawl space scene. Walt believes he finally has control. He believes he can fix everything by running away with his family. Then he opens the hiding spot, and the money is gone. Skylar admits she gave it to Ted, and you can see it in his face. Something breaks. Not just panic, not just anger, but the realization that everything he did, every line he crossed, meant nothing. He starts laughing because there is nothing else left to do. That is not Walter White anymore trying to hold things together. That is Heisenberg taking over fully. From that point, his goal is not survival anymore, it is not family. He decides Gus has to go, and this is where his manipulation becomes much darker. He poisons Brock, Jessie's girlfriend's child, just enough to make Jessie think Gus is responsible. He frames the situation carefully, so Jessie will turn against Gus. Walt does not tell Jessie the truth. He lets Jessie believe the worst because he needs him emotionally on his side. That is calculated. That is cold. The plan works. Gus dies. Walt wins. But the structure Gus built is gone, and now everything becomes messier. The money is worse. The risks are worse. Mike constantly reminds him that he is not as smart as he thinks. That hurt his ego again. When Mike finally decides to leave, Walt kills him, just because he felt disrespected. And right after, he even admits he did not need to do it. He then arranges for the men in prison to be taken out so no one can speak. The point is that he wants to send a message. He wants to be feared. He wants to be untouchable. By this point, there is no anxiety left in him. He used to be afraid of cancer, afraid of Gus, afraid of Mike, afraid of failure. Now he is only driven by pride. And that pride slowly costs him everything: his family, his identity, any sense of peace. The thing about Walt is that he is not just good at lying to other people. He is even better at lying to himself. For most of the story, he keeps repeating the same idea in his head: that everything he does is for his family, that every terrible decision is justified, that every line he crosses has a purpose. And the scary part is that he actually believes it. Near the end, that lie finally breaks. When he talks to Skylar for the last time, he admits it. He says he did it for himself, because he liked it, because he was good at it, because it made him feel alive. It reframes the whole story. Not the money, not the legacy, not the family. It was always about ego, control, and feeling significant. And in the end, he loses everything. His family, his name, any chance at a normal life. Yet he dies in the place where he felt most like himself, inside the lab. That leaves a question that never really goes away. Did the cancer kill Walter White and give birth to Heisenberg, or did the cancer just reveal who he truly was all along? If I got anything wrong in this breakdown, correct me in the comments, and tell me which character you want to see a deep dive next. If this kind of analysis is your thing, you can support the channel by liking the video, subscribe, and turning on the bell so you don't miss the next one. Thank you for watching. Seriously.